Thank you for waking us up this morning, for bringing us safe through these halls. We thank you for every single person standing here, God, and the ones walking by who don't even know what's happening yet. We pray protection over our school, over our teachers.
Wasn't that so beautiful? Oh, that was moving. That was a very real situation that actually happened, wasn't it? No, that was AI. The fact that most people don't even know this is AI, like it's getting tons and tons of views, tons and tons of likes. Like the fact that I couldn't even tell when I first saw it for like the first time I watched it, I couldn't even tell it was AI. I didn't even notice. And literally every video this page posts is AI, and most of them are insanely realistic. And I've seen them on here before because, it gets a lot of attention. It shows up on your For You page. This is insane. These people do not exist. But this page is literally lying to get views and money from the views. Like, they're literally... I think this would be considered taking God's name in vain, wouldn't it? Right? I don't know. It's definitely some kind of blasphemy or something. Like they're literally doing it because they know it'll get attention and therefore make a lot of money from these going viral. They're literally using God to lie, trying to fool people into thinking this is real. And for the most part, they're succeeding at it. Now, when you go through the comments, you will see some comments that say this is AI. But there are so many people that are like, oh, way to go, this is awesome, this is beautiful, or is this real, or like, it's insane. Deception is at an all-time high. Jesus is coming very soon. AI is rapidly continuing to get more indistinguishable from reality, and it's not slowing down. What did Daniel say? He said knowledge would increase. That's how you know you're at the end. Has knowledge increased? Dude, I wish I could remember the exact statistic, but it was like the amount of time between like 1800 and 1900, information was doubling like every so many hundred years, or maybe like every 1,000 years or something crazy like that. And then the time between 1900 and like World War II or something, it was doubling like way more than that. And then the time between World War II and like 1960 or 80 or whatever it was doubling way more than that. And then, it just keeps rapidly getting more and more. The knowledge is increasing like insane. It's this huge snowball effect. Now, in the last few years since AI came out, like it's been like quadrupling. Like it's been doubling. Like it was doubling like every so many months for a while, and then every so many weeks, and now it's at the point where it's like doubling like every so many days, maybe like even every day. It's insane. Knowledge is doubling like every day, when it used to be like every 1,000 years or maybe more that information would double. Yes, knowledge has increased. I don't know how much more it could really realistically increase. It's insane. Insane. AI is so realistic. Some of these videos, I wouldn't know they were AI if I didn't read that they were AI. It's insane. Like, recently I shared a video on my story on here of this old man, like, saying, like, oh, I saw Jesus, or, whatever it was. It was, like, this really beautiful video. And I literally thought it was real. And it wasn't until, like, hours later where I went back to that, and someone commented on it. And they're like, this is AI. And I'm like, oh, because rewatching it, I'm like, I did notice that the woman's voice, the nurse, she did kind of sound a little robotic, but I don't know, I just didn't think about it. But it's like, we're there, guys. How much more deception can we possibly take? Because, like, we're at the point now where people could make a video, an AI video of Jesus coming back, and people would believe it. They probably already have. And it's like, do you think God's okay with that? How much of that is he really going to allow? Because it's going to only keep getting more and more realistic. So that's insane. That was weird. I don't know what that was. I heard some kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if you guys could hear that in the video. That was weird. I'm home alone, like Kevin. Okay, did you guys see that? Kevin Home Alone's kind of a Christian movie, and in the original script, it was actually going to be like even more Christian, like basically like telling the gospel in it. It's kind of crazy. You can see videos from Lake Point Church talking about that. But yeah. Anyways, I got a little sidetracked there. I still don't know what that sound was. That was weird. Yeah. What in the world was that? Okay. Anyways, where was I even talking about? Yeah, AI. Daniel said knowledge would increase. That's how you know you were at the very end, that Jesus was almost here. And, you know, because you can look up for your redemption draws near, because you know it's that close, right? But he also said in that same prophecy that people would be traveling to and fro. That's how you know you're at the very end. Like, you're basically the last generation if people are traveling like anywhere at any time really quickly. Like, well, think about it. Put this in perspective. From the beginning of time until 100 years ago, give or take, people used the exact same form of travel, like for all of time, by like horse or donkey or whatever, you know, by animal. There really wasn't any other form of transportation until 100 years ago, and the earth is 6,000 years. So like, I don't even know, what is that, like probably less than 5% of the existence of earth. I'm not good at math. But yeah, so barely any of the time of earth existing has anything changed. You know, people weren't traveling to and fro. You know, in Jesus' day, if people wanted to go far, that took them some time. You know, I mean, they could go by boat. You know, that might get them somewhere, and somewhat, I don't know, it took a while. You know, they had to walk, you know, take donkeys to go to another city. It would take days or however long. And it's like, now someone could get on one of these super crazy fast jets and be like anywhere in the world in like an hour. I don't know how long it takes, but like, you know, but like for like regular people, you know, that don't have fast jets, we could still get on like an airplane and still get somewhere, you know, go across the continent in hours. Or, you know, just in our normal everyday lives, we can take a car and we could go to a different state in the same day, you know. Like, people are traveling to and fro like crazy. Like, we know it's the end. It's just, I don't know, maybe a lot of people don't study that verse so they don't realize it, or I don't know. They just, it's easy to not realize just how much the world has changed in such a short amount of time, given that, like, well, this is what we grew up in, this is all we know. But like, obviously we know history, we know that it hasn't been like this until the last 100 years or so. So like, we still know, it's just, it's hard for our brains to like comprehend it, because obviously if we existed since the earth began and we saw all this change in the last 100 years, that would be way easier to see the big picture and see just how insane, how crazy it is that everything's changed so fast, so insanely fast. And it's only rapidly getting even crazier and faster with knowledge and traveling. And we're at the very end, guys. You know, that doesn't even scratch the surface. That doesn't even put a dent in why we're at the very end. But like, that alone proves it.